Hey, so welcome to Ayrton Senna Super Monaco GP2. What a game this is, and that keeps happening. Sorry about that, but here we go. Ayrton Senna Super Monaco GP2 should be able to hear the lovely sounds of the title theme before. I'm the question mark. I'm calling myself the question mark at the moment because I don't know what to call myself. And me talking to you has meant we're already going into the demo, so let's come out of that and press the start button or the enter key on my keyboard, as is otherwise known. So I'm going to start a new game, World Championship Master, and I'm going to put question marks in. This is, again, because I don't know actually what to call myself for the purpose of this video. Well, what you'll see on this video is me try and go through the Ayrton Senna Super Monaco GP2. What is the career mode, effectively, in this game? This game from a long, long time ago, early 90s. I think it's based on the 92 season. Starting today, you're one of the elite. Give it all you've got and show that you belong among the top racers. Your success or failure is in your hands. Hone your driving skills, climb the ladder, and get that championship trophy. Thank you for those words of encouragement, Ayrton. So we start with the USA GP, and over time it will become clear how bad I am at this game, even though I used to think I was quite good. I am aware that I'm okay at this track, so I'm going to select J Nono from Italy as my rival for this next race. And the idea behind this game is that you pick rivals to go up against, and then if you can beat them, you can effectively replace them in their team and get a better car. So it kind of works not completely dissimilar from real life. I wouldn't go as far as to call this a sim. It's more of an arcade type experience in terms of the racing, as you'll see by the fact that I'm not touching the brake button. I don't know why I just did it then, because I never actually brake at all on this track. This is a track where I don't have to lift my hand off the accelerator at all at any point. That's the way I play this game. That's the way I play most driving games, which is why I only play old racing games, because I am absolutely terrible at the games which are really ultra realistic, and you have to be able to master things like the brake. 12th is my qualifying place, but that's because I used the brake when I didn't need to. Anyway, Nono's 5th. I think that's fine. I think we'll be able to beat him. But I really like it. I've always really liked the game. Always really enjoyed it, and I kind of especially enjoyed it after I mastered the gears. And to play on advanced rather than beginner, you have to figure out how the gears work, because trying to do master on automatic is nigh on impossible. In fact, you'll lose every race. I'm up to 10th, not a bad start here. Now you see, this is where I used the brake erroneously last time. Don't need any of that, straight on. What you'll notice in this game is where I really struggle is when the track requires me to use the brake, and then I fall to pieces. I'm going into this quite haphazardly at the moment. That's because I'm reasonably comfortable that I can beat my rival on this race, even with some poor early laps. He's up to 8th, so no, I'm coming after you. Yeah, so that's where I struggle. Is on tracks where you kind of really do have to engage the brake in some way, but I should be fine. Other than that, to go up the ranks, especially on this track. This is one of the tracks I'm better at. I'm unbelievably, probably you're thinking as you watch me play it. But yeah, this is one of the ones I'm strongest at, I'd say. Going past my rival now. As I said, I was relatively confident I would beat him. I saw a YouTube video the other day of this game where the person playing basically won the championship in the first season. I can absolutely guarantee you that will not happen with this. Instead, what will happen with this is it will take me probably approximately 4 seasons just to get to a car that even has a chance of winning the championship. But that's fine. We've got nothing but time, right? So why not go for it? What lap are we on here? Still only lap 3 of 6. I've got a chance of getting some serious points in this race. Go round, and now we're into 6th place. So we're now in the points. So this is actually not bad at all. 3 laps to go. 6.5 seconds ahead of my rival. Nothing to worry about now. I'm going to accomplish my goal and then some by getting points in the Surga team. That's what this team, Surga, I don't know, Sarja maybe, I guess it could be the first part of Sergeant. Sarja team, I've never thought of it that way before. Surga is the way I've always known it. Yeah. Just knocked into the back of someone there. Doesn't really matter. As I said, already ahead of my rival considerably. Almost ran that a bit wide there. And 2 laps to go. Got a guy coming up behind me as well, yeah? Go away. So yeah, because I don't use the brake, I'm faster than most other cars around all the corners, as you would be if you didn't use the brake. This game allows you to get away with that a lot of the time, but not all of the time, and that's where I come unstuck. And there's probably a proper way to deal with each track and where you're supposed to brake and where you're supposed to use the gears and whatnot. I am not really that person. That takes practice, that takes learning, and I can't be bothered with doing that when I'm playing a game. I am a very lazy gamer. I'm not any kind of a gamer, frankly, but this is a game I played extensively in the past and still never been bothered to learn how to play it properly. Mainly because you can kind of get by and have a reasonable experience without playing it properly. So that's what I do. So we are into 5th, 2 points in the championship on our first ever race. This is very good. It's been a very decent race for me, despite the haphazard start. We've coped with that. We've overtaken our rival. He's 15 seconds behind. We've got up into the points. We're going to get 2 points here, unless I crash out in the last few corners. And that is a that's a perfectly reasonable way to start the game, so I'm happy with that. Always excited as well to knock over the guy with the flag. So Senna won the race. Behind him was the Ferrari, then Bloom, who is in the Benetton, and Jones, who's in the Williams, and I, am in 5th place for Surga. So that's where the championship table sits at the moment. I come up to my team, what they're going to say to me, they're going to say, keep up the good work. And we're going to save that in here. As you can see, I did a sort of test run. That's been saved there. Oh, Blanche is challenging you, not Blanche from Coronation Street. This is another team, Blanche White from Austria in a yellow car, and he says he's too fast for me. We'll see about that, shall we? So I'm kind of happy because I'm not actually that great at this track. I mean, it's not one that I crash out of, and I can usually get a reasonable position on this track, but it's not a race that when I get a handy car, I'm immediately able to win. Whereas there are some cars that I can win in a kind of Minardi or a sort of a level B kind of car, second tier car. Whereas this is not one of those. This is a one that I do have some trouble with. But because we've been challenged by Blanche, who are an even slower car than me, I don't envisage this being an issue with this track in terms of, again, fending off my rival for the race and therefore having a reasonably successful race within it. And the fact that we've already got 2 points in the championship as well is, quite handy because it takes the pressure off early on. We've qualified 9th for this one. Should have qualified better in America. And there is the starting grid, and White is in 12th. So we get going again here. I don't know exactly the format of these videos in terms of the length of time we're going to put them out on. I might just try and do 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Oh, that's not good. Too busy thinking about how long the video is going to be. Yeah, 15-20 minutes a video. Split them up like that so that you're not faced with hours and hours of me just racing and talking at you. That would be really boring. You can see my rival's already down in 13th. He is absolutely no challenge for me today, even though this is not my preferred race. I'm not worried about him at all, and really now the goal is to try and see if we can add on another point in the championship, because that will benefit me towards the end of the season. Now, what I would expect, this gives me a chance to talk a little bit about what I'm expecting from this whole save ultimately. What I expect is that about, I don't know, somewhere in the halfway point of the season, or somewhere in the next few races, I will get promoted to a better team, and then not too long after that I will get relegated to a not so good team, but a better team than I'm currently in. That's what I predict will happen. That's usually what happens in my first season. Then at the end of the season I get promoted again because of the points I've accumulated over the course of the season, and then we do the same, a similar sort of circle of stuff in season 2. That's my prediction. We'll see if that bears out. At the moment I've started well. I beat my rival in the first race, and I think I'm going to beat this rival here. Obviously though, it's a different rival. It would be nice to get the chance to challenge once more rather than have somebody from below me challenge me. I'm going to try and go through the middle of these two up to 7th. That will do nicely. So we're doing pretty well here. Still only lap 3 of 6, although you can see 6th position is quite some way ahead of me, and that is not going to be something that changes particularly soon. Something about Brazil I don't really enjoy on this game. I think it's just it's fast. There's not huge amounts of turns, and where the one place where there are huge amounts of turns, there's a really hard left, or hard right, sorry, which I end up always going off the track on. That combination of things, for the way I drive, is not really favourable to my style anyway. So that's why I don't really love this track, but still doing okay. 7th place is not bad at all. We've massively beaten our rival, which is what matters. And we are catching the man in 6th, very slowly, but we are catching him. I think we're catching him enough to expect that by the end of this race I can overtake him and get another point. So that's handy. We're 22 seconds ahead of our rival. He is nowhere. He is no good. He should not have been allowed to challenge for me. There should have been some rule behind this that says he's too far down, he can't challenge me. But he did, and that's why we're in this ridiculous position. Anyway, trying to catch up with 6th place now. Another championship point would be very nice here. This is going to be a little bit dodgy, but we managed to get in on the inside, and we are up to 6th. 1 point. One very valuable championship point could be coming our way. And the second race in the points would be, well, I would say a very positive start to the first season. We're coming up to the final lap. Starting in just a second. You can see we've got 7th place just behind us. Now he's not. I've knocked him back a little bit. Good when you can time it like that, where you can get the guy behind you, hit you in the back, and they go away. So there's no damage in these races. You don't damage a car unless you crash, at which point if you crash you're out of the race. You will definitely get an example of that whilst I'm playing, possibly even as early as the next race, because Imola I really struggled with, which is the 3rd round in the World Championship back in 1992. You'll get an example of that, but there's no like damage to the car, there's no tyre wear, there's no fuel, there's no need to like refuel or anything like that. So it's just, yeah, that one way of abandoning a race is crashing and hitting one of these barriers. I find it interesting, this game goes quite a long way to try and not infringe upon Formula 1's trademarks, whilst making it very clear that this is supposed to be a simulation of Formula 1. So we came 6th, that's not bad at all. And you can see this time that Bloom, who is supposed to be Michael Schumacher in the Benetton, has won that race. That puts him up to 2nd in the championship behind only Senna. So into the pits, our Surga team manager. Keep up the good work. Very same message they gave me last time. Save that one and we move on to the next race. Okay, we're going to do one more race I think on this episode, and then we will go into episode 2. We're going to go for Minardi again? I don't think so, because I'm not confident we'll win it. So I'm going up against Arai from the red. So as you can tell, I'm not as confident about this race as I was the last day. This is Imola, and you can see there's a very hard left, kind of at the top of the map of the track there, which very often I come a cropper on. So I'm not gone after, and that's exactly what happens. I told you that you would see an example of it very soon. That's me crashing out, and that happens very regularly on this track. So I'm starting right at the back. I rise 9th as we go into this race. I will avoid it this time. I say that as confidently as I can, having just effectively crashed into that barrier at the corner I did identify at the start of the race. I will avoid it this time. And you can see we've nicked the back of another car. So this is... I don't use the brake. I just take my hand off the accelerator and then shift up I should say. Shift up to slow myself down enough that I don't crash into the barrier. Again, in fact, there was an advertising there, wasn't it? I crashed into. So we've gone past our rival, we're up to 10th. The rest of the track, I'm pretty fast at. Like, people struggle to stay with me. But it's just that one turn, and I'm not particularly good at handling it. Although I've got better when I did my warm-up. When I did my sort of test of this, I realised I could avoid it well enough that it would allow me to stay reasonably competitive on this track. I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm doing up to this point, because I'm up to 8th, and we're on the second time around now up to 7th. Okay, looking good. Oh, that was a mistake. That could have been costly. Back up to 7th. So I'm given how we've done so far, I'm now looking at wanting points. I think before I was just hoping to beat my rival. He's 7 seconds back, so I'm not so worried about him right now. See there, even then I was drifting a bit wide on that turn. Okay. Up to 7th again. 7.5 seconds ahead of my rival. Not worried about him. But I am eager to get in the points. I feel like this is an opportunity to get more points on a track that I've traditionally not been that brilliant at. Trying to get in the slipstream here. And we've gone past it, we're up into 6th. Well, I had to do that because he was buzzing around me and I needed to get on the inside line, or I was going to crash into the barrier, so I had to do that, even though it's cost me. We'd be able to catch him up though, again, much faster around the corners, so, you know, all good. I mean, I do apologise as well, there's going to be some purists who see this and are like absolutely disgusted by the way that I play this game fully without brakes, pretty much, and just game the whole game basically. But as I say, it's not really a sim, and I ain't any good at those sims, so you know, this is the perfect racing game for me. What I think it does do quite well, at least, is immerse you in a multi-season career, which back in the day, games like the Mega Drive and the Master System and Nintendo didn't really do it. They didn't really have that kind of immersive multi-year, multi-season kind of game. Like FIFA 95, which I had on the Mega Drive, and the early FIFA games. FIFA 95 was the first one with like Premier League on it. But you could only play one season at a time. You couldn't. There weren't relegations and promotions, and you couldn't play the next season. You couldn't. There were no transfers to be made or anything like that. It was just one season. You pick your team, and then you try and do what you can with that team. Oh. And there's me getting distracted by talking about something and forgetting that corner was there, ready to take me out. Yeah, so I didn't. So it wasn't very regular that you get that. But this game, you get transfers between teams, you get season to season. You know, I don't know what the limit of seasons are. Maybe that's something we'll test in this. I'm not going to get any points here. I think I'm a bit disappointed with that, given where we were early on in the race. But we have finished 7th, beaten our rival. Got to be happy with that. This time the Ferrari won it. Senna was 2nd. We finished 7th, just outside the points, so now 5th in the championship. Let's see what our team has to say for themselves. Keep up the good work. Cool. Now, had I beaten the same rival 3 times now, I'd probably be replacing them now. But alas, I didn't do that. Right, that's the end for the first episode of this series. But join us again for the next one as we take on Monaco, Canada, and Mexico City.